afternoon, Team Edwards, and welcome to our weekly town hall. Happy Friday to everybody. I'm excited to be here because, as you all know, we are going to be announcing our Wing Annual Award winners. And so this is going to be an awesome event. Congratulations again to all of our winners, or winners at the group level, our Wing nominees. And good work, good effort this year. You deserve this. Thank you to all of the supervisors, co-workers, and leadership that made sure that we got these folks the much needed and very well-deserved recognition that they deserve. I think I've heard it said best this week that the competition is tough, and so if you're wearing that medallion, this medallion, you've already won. And so I'm excited about today. Sir, do you have anything to add to that? I see you're wearing the wrong mask, first of all.
Oh, that's right, Chief. So it is Friday. Thanks. So if you are lucky, ladies and gentlemen, you will also have a senior NCO that keeps you on the straight and narrow. So Chief does that for me all the time. Orange is the brand, and I think that's an important caveat. So she said, hey, sir, on Fridays, I got you covered, and it's even KN95, so it's maximum protection here. Close enough, at least in TV land, to the bannered 412 Testament colors too. So thanks.
It's perfect.
Yes, and happy Friday again, everyone. Matt Higer, happy to be here, proud to be here, and to say I'm excited about what we're about to announce is an understatement. It has been very impressive to me as we've had the medallion ceremonies this week to talk to all these winners at the group level, nominees at the wing level. The ceremonies that I was privileged enough to participate in, as I put that medallion over their nugget and tuck it in around their collar and ask them the question, hey, tell us something, tell Chief and I something that you are extra proud of or something that you think is not known. One person said, he said, about me? And I said, yes, about me. And he said, in the last year? And I said, yeah, something that you're super proud of that you've done in the last year. And I don't know if you heard him. I broke 80 on the golf course.
I heard him.
And I'm like, that's valid, right? That's valid. That's a well-rounded airman, and that's somebody that takes off duty as seriously as on duty, and I was very proud of that. But the other answers that I heard there were also extremely impressive. A lot of the topics I had some awareness on, but I learned a lot from you, the nominees, as you shared those events with me. So
Sir,
it's pretty awesome.
If I could add to that, some of those folks that came up there were so humble, and instead of wanting to take sole credit for winning, they wanted to instead highlight the fact that it was a team effort and that they had awesome people around them helping to make sure that we do the mission. And then they got the recognition. So.
Yeah, more than one person. I said, so brag on yourself a little bit. And they immediately pivoted to it's not about me. I was just blessed to be a part of a large team. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I hear you. But, you can toot your own horn a little bit. And that was certainly the appropriate time to do that. And I've said it many, many times. I will continue to say it. If you are a supervisor, a commander, a director, a front office staff member, anywhere at the unit level or the group level, that helped refine, process, deliver on time those 1206s that documented their exceptional performance, thank you. We had the raw material, and we have spades of raw material in our exceptional performers here at the Center of the Aerospace Testing Universe. Getting that raw material into a 1206 that is competitive at the wing level is a non-trivial task. So if you had a part in that, thank you very much. And as I mentioned at all those medallions, and Chief and I are well aware of, competition is even more fierce at the test center level. Mm-hmm. But above that, the test center punches well above its weight at AFMC. So a lot of our winners today will be competing at the next level. Assuming they are successful at the center level, they'll be highly successful at the MAGCOM. So I'm excited to get onto the announcements. So, Chief, anything else before we kick it going?
I don't think we should keep anybody waiting much longer.
All right. Thanks for joining. All right. The slideshow that you are witnessing is done by my exceptional executive officer, Miss Becca Schweitzer. Becca, kudos to you for putting this together. She's given Chief and I, to try and keep us in the straight and narrow and on time, she's given us cards that are not necessarily scripted, but at least what's next. So, without further ado, let's hit to the next chart.
Yes, sir. So we're going to start off with the key spouse category. And the key spouse, this is a key role within our command teams. You have a commander, a first sergeant, you have the SEL, and then you have a key spouse. And I think that these folks do an exceptional job of connecting our families with the mission. They enhance, their efforts enhance our ability to do readiness well, resilience well, and have that sense of community. So hats off to all these individuals. We wouldn't be able to do our mission without these folks.
Absolutely. And I tell many things to Key Spouse, and the first thing I always start with is thank you. And amongst the Key Spouse teammates this year, we have someone that has risen above that august body. And if you want to click to the next slide there, Becca.
I think they're going to wait on me. There we go.
There you go.
Without further ado, from the maintenance group, Ms. Perez. Ms. Perez is the AMXS Key Spouse. She coordinated health and welfare concerns with leadership and communicated commander priorities and quality of life for 469 members. Additionally, she is Edwards' Key Spouse Club president, leading 18 personnel and executing 6 local events with a $61,000 budget, supporting 11,000 assigned personnel. So, woohoo! Hats off. Good job, ma'am.
Yeah, so I'm gonna hold it nice and steady. PA, if you can zoom in on this one. This is the actual award that is now Miss Perez. It has her name on it. You can see it written right there. This is also the award with the names and roles different that every other annual award member is receiving from the 412 Test Wing, that they can proudly display as their, I'll say their trophy, literally their trophy. But there's one of these with your name on it. If we announce you today, show up and get it, and we promise not to embarrass you too bad as you pick it up in the wing front office.
Right.
So congratulations, Ms. Perez.
Awesome. Congrats. So, sir, how about we go now to our team awards?
I'm ready.
All right. So we should have our nominees on the screen there. We'll let everybody take that in real quick. And the winner is, from the 412 Maintenance Group, the Weapons Standardization Team.
Congrats, Weps. Weapon standardizations load tomorrow's weapons today, advancing the development and fielding of emerging weapons technologies, expanding the United States Air Force war fighting, and I would add winning capabilities across assigned bomber and fighter platforms, which is, everything in the Air Force, and many partners and allies too. Additionally, the Weapons Standardization Team energized the B-52 hypersonic timeline and by generating 36 test sorties, which anchored 3 high-priority agendas and projects valued at over $3 billion. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Weapons Standardization. Up next, we have the Test Team of the Year nominees. And the winners. F-35 Mission Systems Test Team. The F-35 Mission Systems Test Team from the Integrated Test Force is responsible for testing all mission systems, weapon system integration, and software updates on the F-35. The team owns all planning, execution, analysis, and reporting for F-35 mission systems tests. Approximately 33 sorties are flown each month on behalf of the mission systems team. Kudos. Congratulations, team.
Congratulations, Jesters. That is not your first, and it is not your last, I'm sure, team win in this category. Well done.
So, sir, next we have the Innovation Team of the Year. You want to take that one?
Absolutely. So while we're showing the slides and letting you absorb the innovation nominees, I'll be quiet and count to about 10 here so you can all read that.
That's fierce competition.
It is. And you know, innovation isn't just a buzzword around here. It's actually what we do. I mean, we've been breaking barriers and figuring out new and agile way to do things literally since the beginning of Edwards. So these teams just follow in a long history of what we do here, but they're forging the future as well. So with that in mind, this year's winner in the Innovation Team of the Year is the Emerging Technologies Combined Test Force Test Team, including the 412th TENG, the Test Engineering Group. The team created a real-time monitoring capability for small unmanned aerial vehicles using existing hardware and free software programs. The team also spearheaded a $2 billion autonomous attributable aircraft experimentation, say that fast 4 times, involving manned-unmanned teaming with 4th and 5th generation aircraft. Congratulations, ETCTF test team, and there are truly some remarkable innovations, and for you to rise above is something you can all be extremely proud of.
Awesome work. Congrats to all. Sir, that's all for our teams. Now we can get into the individual awards.
I'm ready.
All right, so we should have Innovator of the Year nominees up next. Here we are. Soak that up for about 10 seconds. And the winner from the 412th Operations Group, Major Elliot Erstein. Major Erstein's leadership enabled the low-cost design and implementation of multiple small unmanned aircraft systems test beds to rapidly support test, training, and experimentation efforts across the 412th Test Wing. His quick problem-solving and innovative approaches allowed autonomy test efforts to remain on track and in turn accelerated decisions to turn cutting-edge technology into an Air Force program of record 1 year early. Kudos, good work.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You know, one of the things that we struggle with as I'll say as a department is getting things from tech demonstrators into programs of record, and his innovation bridged that, what we call the valley of death, extremely well, and we're going to have capability in the warfighter's hands because of the work he did this year. Congratulations.
Congrats. Awesome. All right, sir. Next up is the Warfighter of the Year nominees. So I'll let you have that one.
Absolutely. Another award that focuses on the why we're here in our force modernization or future fight need. This year's winner in the For the Warfighter of the Year award is White Bread, Major Frank Ponabianco.
White bread.
Yeah.
I
White
love
bread.
it.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? I don't speak Italian, but that's what I'm told, right? Major Ponabianco led a deployed 28-member commander center in support of Operations Allies Refuge and Allies Welcome, managing 331 flights to evacuate and evaluate 30,000 Afghan refugees. Further, Major Ponabianco was the lead pilot for a $135 million program aircraft upgrade, assisting with 9 test plans encompassing 2,070 test points for vital systems testing in support of warfighter capabilities. And now you can see why we call him White Bread, because Ponabianco's a little hard for this. For this
and here
dude to
I was thinking Hustler was the best call sign. Now it's White Bread. Sorry, sir. Sorry, Colonel Egan.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Up next, we have the Volunteer of the Year nominees. Let that soak in for a second. From the 412th Med Group, Lieutenant Colonel Richard Baird. Woohoo! Lieutenant Colonel Baird guided 523 people in distributing 50,000 pounds of food to needy families, preparing meals for 1,000 homeless citizens, transcribing 10,000 historical documents, and providing marketing for 423 college athletes. They cleaned a river walk, water plant, and teen lodge, taught Sunday school, built a wheelchair ramp, and provided firewood to an indigent family, and orchestrated flyovers for college football games. So congratulations again.
Doc Baird is a real rock star. He's not just excellent in the clinic, but he's clearly exceptional out as well. Congratulations, Doc Baird.
Well deserved.
All right.
What do we got next?
Our next category, Supervisor Manager of the Year. If you could call up the nominees for me. I tell you, this category where you're absorbing the faces and the names there is really the frontline supervisor for active duty and civilian members this year has really been the team that has stepped up. Right? Chief and I have spent time in the last year working directly with frontline supervisors in the DEI channels, and I have thoroughly enjoyed what I've learned from people like these exceptional supervisors this year. But today we acknowledge one that has risen above the rest. So if you could click to the winner, Philip Remley from the 412th Civil Engineering Group. Mr. Remley expertly led a team of highly skilled firefighters on one of the largest and most diverse installations within Air Force Materiel Command, encompassing 308,000 acres and 14 different air platforms. Additionally, his leadership was pivotal to his team's ability to safely and effectively mitigate 117 structural and aircraft emergencies, protecting 12,000 personnel and $6 billion in government assets throughout the installation, Air Force Research Laboratory, and the surrounding communities. Congratulations, Mr. Remley.
Congratulations.
And oh, by the way, that guy's got an awesome handlebar mustache going, too. We saw him at the medallion ceremony.
This is true. All right, up next we have Scientific Engineering of the Year nominees. and I hope I say this correctly, from the operations group, Mr. Benjamin Stolte, or Stolt. We'll go with Stolte.
Ben will let us know.
Okay. Mr. Stolte led a 50-member air-launched rapid response weapon exercise, discovered test procedures failing weapons in flight, and stopped a $10 million hypersonic test loss. He also safeguarded $95 million in test assets with five crew members. Mr. Stolte trained new 419th Combined Task Force members and completed team rosters to support Pacific range tests and zero current test interruptions. Congratulations.
Yeah, so what you guys don't know is that Ben, and he would say, it's not me, it's the team. And I say, Ben, I hear you, but you're the team leader. Ben's team is literally the team pushing our nation's hypersonic weapons capability into the future. And that is a well-earned award for Ben this year. Congratulations.
Congrats.
It's important to note that Mr. Stolt, or Ben, because I don't know how to say it either, will represent the 412 Test Wing at the center level in the civilian Category 3 at AFTC, and I am pretty comfortable that he's going to take that award home.
Awesome. All right. We got the next one, Staff Technician of the Year. Sir, you want to take that one?
Sure. So when we say STEM, right? Science, technology, engineering, and math. At this place, a lot of engineers get great visibility, and since math is my first language, we get some mathematicians some visibility too. But what often gets not emphasized as much are the tech part, the technicians. These folks are clearly in the STEM fields, and they're doing rubber meets the road, make it happen technology stuff. And so I could not be more proud of the group in general, and I'm very proud to announce this year's winner. So, with no further ado, congratulations, Mr. Alexander Ibarra at the 412th Med Group. Mr. Ibarra directed an 8-member team of highly efficient bioenvironmental technicians surveying $8 million in radiation assets while ensuring the safety of wing personnel and prevention of Nuclear Regulatory Commission fines. His role as the installation radiation safety officer has allowed for 3 laser test missions to be accomplished that will ensure the success of future weapon systems. Congratulations, Alex. I'm very proud of you.
Congrats. Up next, we have Administrator CSS of the Year nominees. Drum roll. Just kidding. From the 412th Mission Support Group, Ms. Laura Pignon. Congratulations. Ms. Pignon sourced 1,059 priority shipment carriers and executed $700,000 in parts shipping. Her efforts saved an average of $15,000, exceeding the Air Force Installation and Mission Support Center's 90% standard by 8%. Additionally, as the flight's sole government purchase cardholder, Ms. Pignon executed 267 end-of-year purchases totaling $29,000. Congrats again, ma'am.
And I'll foot stomp that she's a hardcore well-serving member of the Logistics Readiness Squadron, and that is a tough group of folks to compete from within in the Mission Support Group as well. So extra kudos there, and I am also confident that when Ms. Pignon competes at the test center level, which she will, representing the 412 Test Wing, she's going to be highly competitive for another award at a higher level.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Congrats again.
Our next category, Specialist or Analyst of the Year. The nominees, and if I count right, that's 9 nominees on the board there.
You counted right.
Yep, counted right. Again, tremendous competition. I tell you, these nominees are a way that I just get reminded how talented we are and how broad we are in our experience and our diversity and our talent as well. This category is one of those that's exceptionally broad, and to compete and win in this category is something that you can be especially proud of. This year's wing winner in this category is Mr. John Nichols, the Executive Officer at the 412 Civil Engineering Group. Mr. Nichols efficiently managed all office duties supporting 2 squadrons, 3 divisions, and more than 500 personnel and $90 million in annual requirements. Additionally, he advocated for 15 projects in excess of $2 million, helping eliminate safety issues and improve the quality of life for 12,000 personnel. Furthermore,
His planning expertise for multiple command-level senior leader visits resulted in garnering an additional $200,000 for the FAM camp expansion project. And let me foot stomp that one real fast. We got AFMC We Need dollars that helped us close the funding gap for the FAM camp expansion, reducing the impact of the housing crisis on our airmen and families here, primarily because of a visit that John scheduled and the advocacy that he made with that visiting DV. That in and of itself is worthy of accolades, and he did so much more throughout the year. Congratulations, John.
Congratulations.
Our next category is Trades Labor of the Year. Five nominees in this category. You can see those exceptional airmen right there, Big A Airmen. Our winner this year is Mr. William Plumstead from the 412th Maintenance Group. Mr. Plumstead expertly led a total force team of 48 active duty and civil service airmen, generating 149 KC-135, KC-46, and C-17 aircraft test support sorties, accumulating 500.8 flight hours. His dedicated efforts supported the advancement of 20 developmental test and evaluation programs for the F-16, F-22, F-35, B-1, B-2, B-52, and hypersonic weapons development projects. Congratulations, Mr. Plumstead. It's also worthy of note that Mr. Plumstead will represent the 412 Test Wing in the Civilian Category 2 at Air Force Test Center.
Congratulations.
I don't need to wish you luck there because you're going to do very well. All right. Our next category.
So we have Program/Project Manager of the Year nominees. And if I count right, that's 9.
I think you're counting right, Chief.
Okay.
It's good math.
I trust you. You speak math. From the 412 TMG, Mr. Kevin Thorne. Congratulations. Mr. Thorne expertly led a team of engineers, aircrew, maintainers, and program support personnel in the infrastructure construction and flight test execution of the single largest test program in the Legacy Strategic Bomber portfolio. Under his leadership, the first critical milestones of this $100 million strategic deterrent test program were successfully accomplished, including the first airborne release and first guided release of long-range standoff test assets. Woohoo! Congrats again, sir. Well deserved.
Yes, it is, Kevin. Folks, for those of you that don't understand the word strategic and LRSO, this guy's making significant progress in the modernization of our nation's nuclear triad. That in and of itself is extremely impressive and something we can all be grateful for and thankful for. All right, next category, our Field Grade Officer of the Year. Show up the nominees. Field Grade Officers, the grades of Major, Lieutenant Colonel, and Colonel is the category. You can see those fine officers there. Can I get a drum roll? Yes, our winner is Major Anthony Mirable, 412th Operations Group. Goes by Rocky. Rocky led a 242-member flight test team of government and contractor personnel, integrating rapid system capabilities on a $9.1 billion advanced program. He led, trained, and integrated 10 operations, test, and program office organizations to deliver 14 warfighting capabilities. Of note, then Captain Mirable last year was the group level CGO of the year as well. So you can see the upward vector that this outstanding officer is on. And Rocky will represent our wing very well at the Air Force Test Center level. And ironically, he's already PCS'd to Wright-Patterson. So Rocky, you may be perfectly located to walk across the stage at the MAGCOM level after you take it all home at the center. And Chief and I look forward to seeing you there in that event if we're allowed to pull it off for COVID.
Awesome.
Congratulations, Rocky.
Congrats again.
And now you know why I've been hounding you about AFA so much. So I'll close the loop with him on that as well. All right, our next category. Field Grade Officer, Individual Mobilization Augmentee of the Year.
And the winner is Lieutenant Colonel Rochella Hope Gaydon from the 412th Maintenance Group. Colonel Gaydon led maintenance operations for 24 highly modified aircraft in the execution of over 300 modifications for the Air Force and Department of Defense. She expertly managed the delivery of 1,300 sorties supporting the Test Pilot School program, producing 48 test pilot graduates. Her commitment to safe maintenance practices and innovation contributed to the group capturing the 2020 Air Force Material Command's Daedalian Trophy. Congratulations again.
Well done. This place doesn't happen without total force, and there's an exceptional example of what total force brings to the fight. Congratulations. Our next category, CGO of the Year, if you can call up the nominees, 8 of them. Another awesome-looking group of fine officers there. Pause for a couple more seconds. Gorgeous picture in the background, by the way. All right. Our winner this year, Captain Dan Parsons, 412th Mission Support Group. Captain Parsons expertly led security forces operations for the Wing's largest unit, where he oversaw 320 personnel. His efforts culminated in the successful integrated defense of the Air Force's second largest installation. Furthermore, Captain Parsons' leadership proved invaluable in the members of his team, garnering an Air Force Test Center level Tuskegee Award, 2 Air Force Materiel Command level Geico Safety Awards, and 4 Senior Airmen Below the Zone promotees. Congratulations, Dan. Well earned and well deserved. It's also worth noting that Captain Parsons will represent the 412 Test Wing at the Air Force Test Center in the Company Grade Officer of the Year category. I wish you luck there, and more importantly, I wish you not needing it, and that's probably the likely outcome. Congratulations.
Congrats.
All right, our next category is the Company Grade Officer Individual Mobilization Augmentee of the Year Award. The winner is, if you can flip to the slide, Captain Michael Lowe. He serves in the Judge Advocate General's Office. Captain Lowe filled a critical manning and leadership shortage within the Edwards Air Force Base Legal Office after the sudden departure of 2 judge advocates. His courtroom expertise enabled litigation of a time-sensitive board hearing, taking the case to closure. Furthermore, his leadership contributed directly to the Wing's coronavirus disease 19 response by creating the Wing's initial legal analysis for 60 religious accommodation requests from receipt of the vaccine. Congratulations, Mike. It was good to meet you. Very proud to put that medallion around your neck and meet your exceptional family at the ceremony. Well done.
Congrats.
All right, our next category, First Sergeant of the Year.
I got to take this one.
Yeah, I know. You got to take this one. They're all First Sergeants of the Year, trust me. But we have the hard task, or rather Chief has a hard task, of selecting one of you to compete at the next level.
All right, so from the 412th Mission Support Group, Master Sergeant Raymond Billups. Sergeant Billups oversaw the biggest First Sergeant scope by ensuring the health and morale for over 1,000 personnel, which ultimately groomed 13 wings, 38 groups, 7 numbered Air Force commands, and 2 below-the-zone winners. Additionally, he led 3 Group Commander Quarterly Awards, a holiday fundraiser, and shepherded over 130 volunteers, allowing the recognition of 64 winners and over $3,000. So Sergeant Billups will also represent at the next level on behalf of the 412th Test Wing. And congratulations, well deserved.
Good job, Shirt Billups. All right, our next category, Honor Guardsman of the Year.
And the winner is Senior Airman Jordan Bullock from the 412th Mission Support Group. Senior Airman Bullock filled the non-commissioned officer in charge position, leading 28 airmen in 26 arbitrary operations, acing 12 ceremonial protocols through the Mobile Training Team course to vet him as an Honor Guard trainer. Finally, he enabled 200 drills and qualified 16 airmen, increasing flight readiness by 25%. His efforts were key to 1,350 military funeral honors, driving his team to earn the Team of the Second Quarter. Congratulations. Go Honor Guard.
Congratulations, Airman Bullock. As we transition to the next category, which is the Honor Guard Program Manager of the Year, I want everyone that's listening and watching to think about the numbers. 1,350 military funeral honors.
Yeah.
That's the primary reason that the Honor Guard exists, and that's a crazy amount of funerals because those are typically one at a time.
And so thank you all members of the Honor Guard, past and present, for what you've done on behalf of our citizen soldiers. And with that, let's get to the Honor Guard Program Manager of the Year. Chief, you want to do the announcement?
And the winner is, from the 412 Mission Support Group, Staff Sergeant Mutia Graham. Sergeant Graham manages the Air Force's 5th busiest base honor guard, leading 42 personnel across 3 active duty and guard installations who service a 52,000 square mile area of responsibility. Her leadership was vital in accomplishing over 1,900 military funerals and 38 color guards. She also coordinated 11 performances with the NFL's Chargers and 3 performances with the NBL's Dodgers, saving the Air Force approximately $2.1 million in recruiting and advertising costs. Congratulations, go Honor Guard. Love to see it.
Well done. And again, we appreciate what you do on behalf of those families. All right, our next category, Senior NCO of the Year. You can see the nominees. There are 8 of them.
Got a big lineup there.
Yeah, an incredibly intense amount of talent and competition every year in this category, this year being no different. All right, let's trip the chart. Our winner this year at the 412 Test Wing Senior NCO of the Year, Master Sergeant Chad Hardesty. Master Sergeant Hardesty led a team of 6 members to address the dormitory concept changes in order to right-size the foundation. He identified 5 options to propose to the Chief of Staff of the Air Force and Chief of Space Operations in order to reduce the deferred maintenance backlog and provide better quality living conditions for airmen and guardians. His leadership contributed to right-sizing the foundation by saving $485.3 million. Oh, and by the way, he's the Commandant of ALS and doing an awesome job there. And he's also one of the initiators or instigators of Test is the Way.
Test is the way.
Yeah, congratulations, Chad. Well done, well earned.
He would love the fact that you brought that up.
And he can say it himself as he walks across the stage when he takes the trophy home as the Air Force Test Center Senior NCO of the Year. Well, he'll represent us all very well. Good luck there, Chad. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Next category, our Senior NCO IMA, Individual Mobilization Augmentee of the Year. Go ahead and click the slide.
And the winner is?
Master Sergeant Colby Boswick from the 412th MXG. Sergeant Boswick provided exceptional guidance to the F-22 Aircraft Maintenance Unit on 5 F-22 aircraft and led 101 maintenance personnel executing 117 flights and 194 test points that advanced the $450 million missile program. Additionally, he expertly led a team of skilled maintainers in the first ever F-22 low-drag pylon flight test, ensuring envelope expansion which furthered the $1.6 billion System Program Office program and increased F-22 capabilities. Those are some no-joke expansion of capabilities that we're delivering to the warfighter via the F-22 CTF, and Sergeant Boswick was very critical in that. Congratulations and well done.
Well deserved.
All right, Chief, I'll let you cover the next one.
All righty, we have our NCO of the Year nominees. Let's see the lineup here. And the winner from the 412 Test Wing, Tech Sergeant Ty Cunningham. Woohoo! Sergeant Cunningham excelled in a coveted Master Sergeant position where he guided first ever coronavirus 19 vaccine mandates at the Air Force's 2nd largest installation. His superior leadership was essential to strategic policy development and execution, ensuring crystallized implementation for 10 groups, 28 squadrons, and geographic separated units. Simultaneously, Sergeant Cunningham closed on 4 quality of life initiatives, which elevated esprit de corps for 162,000 military personnel in 3 major commands. Boom.
Sergeant Cunningham, you've done an exceptional job this year. He is also representing the Test Wing at the Air Force Test Center level, competing in the NCO of the Year category as well. It's also worth noting that he is, as an additional duty, he's also working with every single department of the Air Force installation in the state of California as the administrator or executive officer for that caucus as we try to improve quality of life, not just at Edwards and Plant 42, but across the entire state for all airmen. Well done, Ty.
Well deserved.
All right. Next category, Airman of the Year. Call up the slide with the nominees. Those are some fine-looking airmen, Chief.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there's one winner.
Who is it?
It is Staff Sergeant Damon Zerby from the 412 CEG.
Woohoo!
Clearly a new stripe. Sergeant Zerby's quick actions during a train fire response provided a safe path for 6 firefighters, led to the extinguishment, and saved $11 million in contents. Additionally, Sergeant Zerby rescued an F-16 pilot experiencing hypoxia, saving a $30 million aircraft, and no kidding, more importantly, the pilot's life. Well done, Sergeant Zerby, and we know you're going to represent us well as you compete at the Air Force Test Center in the Airman of the Year category.
Congratulations.
Congratulations indeed.
Well, sir, that wraps up the annual awards for our virtual ceremony. Any closing remarks you want to provide?
Oh, there's always remarks I want to provide. I'll start with a couple things, or I'll end with a couple things. I love the patch, by the way. Mr. Dan, this is his legacy. I'm not going to give any more than that, but test is the way. I think there's an exceptional spirit here that's embodied in our award winners that you just got to see and that we got to announce. Truly, test is the way to capability development. It's the way to breaking barriers. There were a couple in the write-ups you heard, or the announcements that we had. You heard first evers. Mm-hmm. That's just what we do here, right? We do first. That is what we do. Right? And that is what we all do. And whether you are the person that actually executed that first, whether you're the one that enabled that first event, or whether you're the one or part of the team that enables the installation that has that, you are all exceptional, and you're all worthy of accolades. And think about what you accomplished in calendar year 2021. So with that, we're going to pivot. Right? We got just over 20 minutes left for Q&A. We're going to pivot now to your text-in questions. We have an exceptionally qualified person off camera here. I no longer need my cheater glasses, so I'll get rid of those. Text in your questions, as always, to area code 707-412-8922. And while we are warming up, it is Jeremy Hamilton to type in some questions. I want to highlight just how cool it is to have a great team around me. So I don't know if you can get the ring, right? So evidently this is a big deal this weekend. Super Bowl 61, right? So I didn't know the party started on Friday at breakfast. But somebody walked into our office, into the front office this morning, and dropped on us, I don't know how many thousands or tens of thousands of calories in the form of cupcakes. And they're plastic, right?
I wish it was
real metal. Yeah, somebody trying to make me run more miles this weekend. That's who that was. But boy, that type of camaraderie, that type of partnership and wingmanship and teammates, it really is what drives us and makes us the Air Force family. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you, and I couldn't be more proud to serve with you and support you as we move on. As you enjoy the game, as you enjoy the festivities, like, the 7-layer dips and the other things that you eat, please be careful. Please be safe. Enjoy the camaraderie. We are on the backside of the largest surge yet in the pandemic, but we are not home free. So, to the extent you can mitigate what you're doing for your Super Bowl celebration, please do. And if you have any doubts or concerns about your potential exposure, talk to public health, talk to your provider, and let's make sure we don't spread it any further. And we continue that downward trend and slide, which I think is trending in a really good direction. It's warming up outside. People are going to start spending more time outside. We got good airflow. Vaccination rates are going up. Booster rates are going up. The last week, I think it was within the last week, Moderna's vaccine got licensed and FDA approved. I think somebody quote me on this 200%. It's like Spikevax is their brand name. Like, that's good marketing.
I think I heard the same.
Yeah,
yes.
Spikevax, because I think everybody can picture the visual images of the coronavirus ball with the little white spikes coming off the red thing. So we now have another FDA licensed weapon against that enemy in the arsenal. And I think that is an exceptional move in the right direction. I also heard some very exciting news for those of us that are parents for kids that are under the age of 5. It looks like Pfizer's had some pretty good success in kids ages 6 to 18 months with their 2 shots, but they weren't quite getting the efficacy that they wanted out of a 2-shot regime in the 18-month into the 3 and the 4-year range. But they're having some success in a 3rd dose spaced by some time. So I'm optimistic. I'm hopeful that we're going to have a licensed treatment or vaccination regime there for everyone 6 months up to 100 years and 6 months in the not too distant future. And that'll be that's a completely different set of weapons and fight back that we had literally 12 months ago as we were just getting into the early stages of the first rounds of emergency use authorization vaccines. So the progress we've made in the last year as a nation, the progress we've made as a Antelope Valley, Aerospace Valley community, and the progress we've made on the installation against that enemy and in that fight has been impressive. It has not been always easy, and it hasn't always been smooth, but I think it's going very well. And the fact that we're back to what I would consider to be reasonable operations tempo in our mission, which is modernization, and our mission, which is deploying airmen, and our mission, which is fighting, primarily a defensive fight, but fighting in the cyber domain, give me great hope or great confidence that we're going to have a solid spring and summer from the mission execution lane. So all goodness, enjoy your party this weekend. I know I got one person in the front office that is super, super, super excited for the home team.
I think she's the only one. I'm just saying.
My mom used to tell me that, Matthew, if they didn't pick on you, how else would you know they liked you? Right?
She knows I love her.
Yeah, she does. And she loves us
and
right
they
back.
pick on me all the time,
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, I appreciate that. I'm looking on my shoulder. Jeremy says he's got a couple. Okay. Sergeant Hamilton, hit us.
Sergeant Nielsen.
Hamilton. I'm sorry. Sergeant Nielsen.
So the first question, sir, is do you expect continued support for the Edwards Rod and Gun Club? It's been closed for some time now, and it is a great asset to the base.
So what I'm going to have to do is phone a friend on that first specifically, and if that person that asked the question, if you can give me some more granularity on what do you mean by support. So in general, I am extremely supportive for off-duty morale and MWR activities and functions, and that is clearly one of those. I expect or suspect that one of the reasons that it's been closed is that we haven't been able to get the base access that we would have normally had. Base access due to HPCon hasn't changed in way more than a year now. We are in Charlie right now. I expect the trend line is going to have us in Bravo Plus and maybe Bravo in the not too distant future. And then if that trend line continues, I can see Alpha. Once we get back to Alpha, there are no base access restrictions that other than you have to have a valid ID card or have somebody sponsor you on. In that type of environment, I can see things like the Rod and Gun Club, demand signal going back up, and if there's, it's a club, right? So it's a private org, and if you want to initiate that or reconstitute that, I fully support it. To be really blunt, I know where it is, but I'm not sure that I know anybody that's a member of the club. But that type of activities, that type of partnership, that type of on-base camaraderie, I fully support, and I have no reason to not want it to reconstitute after we can. So the person that asked the question, thank you very much. If that didn't hit the mark, please let us know and ask a reattack. And then if there's anybody listening in virtual land that has a better question, you can text that into, and Sergeant Nielsen, sorry, Jeremy, will let us know what your input is.
He knows you know his name. You call him his name all the time.
I do.
I don't know who Hamilton is, but maybe you were watching a play before you came.
Well, no, I wasn't. But Alexander Hamilton is one of the interesting founders of our nation with some long legacy that we all benefit from. That's for sure. Okay. Jeremy, any others?
Yes, sir.
Look at him working hard in Cyberland.
Look at the lights behind him. It's like a dance studio.
He's like a disco star, right? We almost got him laughing.
No pressure to dance or anything.
That totally makes it easier to do this.
There we go.
All right. Do we have any traction or a way forward on replacing the ever-degrading roads on Edwards? We all know about the temperatures and how that has an impact on the road.
Yeah, so
It's a true hazard. Well, so this is where I say, I bet Mr. John Nichols, one of our annual award winners, is watching the broadcast. If John or anyone else in the CE group can weigh in with some specifics, I will take that. In general, one of the problems that we have for base infrastructure is that, and by base infrastructure, roads are included, but also power lines, water supply, sewer, and then the physical structures themselves. One of the problems that our Air Force, and frankly the DoD, but the Air Force in specific, continues to struggle with is that we have been unable to reliably commit the right level of consistent funding every year to upgrade or maintain, in many cases, the facilities and the infrastructure that we have. I'm going to not quite geek out, but it does involve a little math here. There's a number known as plant replacement value, PRV. The title plant really harkens back to a Model T Ford production plant kind of capability. It goes back to in industrial engineering that far. And what you do is you update the value of your plant, not what it cost to build it when you built it, but what's the value of it today. And that becomes the value of your plant. And for Edwards and Plant 42, our plant, in quotes, is the value of the installations and the infrastructure that we put on it, so including roads. And then the reason that that's an important number, the plant replacement value, which is into the billions of dollars and increasing much faster than the rate of inflation, by the way, you then multiply by a certain percentage, and then that's the amount you reinvest in upgrading and maintaining your plant. High-performing corporate companies that own a lot of infrastructure and a lot of expensive plants reinvest in their plants at a rate of between 8 and a little bit more % a year. One company, which I won't mention on the broadcast, but you all know it, invests at 10% a year. So 10% of the value of their plant, they reinvest in maintenance and upgrades in their facilities every single year. The target for the Air Force, the stated minimum floor, minimum threshold for that across the Air Force is 2%. And our Air Force has not been able to successfully deliver 2% plant replacement value reinvestment for 30 years. 30 years running. So what that does is it digs a hole. So we have, I can't remember the number, I've been told the number a couple times. It digs a significant hole in a backlog of infrastructure upgrades and infrastructure maintenance. And we are now approaching points, so for example with roads and buildings, where we have to decide that the cheapest way to maintain the thing is replace to repair. And so by replace to repair, if the building needs to be repaired, but it's cheaper to just demolish the thing and rebuild it either in place or do a similar capability somewhere nearby, that's actually an authorization that we are hoping to get from Congress this year. That would primarily be for buildings in a replace to repair mode, but I'm optimistic that Congress is going to deliver that authorization to us in the FY22 NDAA, and if not, then it'll hit the FY23 NDAA. That will have measurable but not significant benefit in how we get after that. So that's a long road traveled in your answer, boss.
No pun intended.
Right. See where I'm going with that?
Or did you intend?
Well, maybe not, right? Back to the, our asphalt has serious cracks in it. I can tell you that I try to make sure I don't bite my tongue, literally, as I go over some of the cracks down Fitzgerald as I drive to work every day. You can see there where at the cracks we cut out segments and put in asphalt patches there. I remember when we did that work, that repair work in either 2017 or 2018 when we did that, and they're continuing to, the asphalt is not expanding, the asphalt is contracting. So here's another full transparency thing. A lot of the asphalt that is doing that poorly was substandard asphalt when it was laid. And so we will continue to suffer through that, all of us, literally, and our cars, until we have a chance to replace that asphalt in totality. The most recent asphalt replacement that we see on the installation is in the parking lot at the commissary. So when we prioritize what is the hazard, the most hazard to annoying but not really good on our cars hazard, we were very concerned about trips and falls for people walking, especially our retirees and veterans in the parking lot of the commissary. And that's why that one was high on the list. And we were able to successfully repair that, and repair by replace that with AFMC We Need dollars. And then I also funded additional wing dollars on top of that. So significant improvement and benefit there. There was an extension of that paved the road from Fitzgerald into the BX commissary parking lot also, and then the strip that goes in front of the BX. So that is an example of what was the highest risk of fall or highest risk of injury to a person that we were able to replace. And that's the level of attention and the level of detail and the level of hazard risk that we're getting after. I hear, Chief, I don't know if you hear it across the street, but in my backyard, I hear people driving up Forbes as they turn off of Rosemont and they drive Forbes up by the hospital. I can hear their car tires going thunk, 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 thunk over the cracks in that pavement on that road at the speed limit of 45 miles an hour. So I know it's not just Fitzgerald, and I know it's not just Forbes. That's in other places on the installation as well. We are mindful of that. So that's a full answer. It's probably a disappointing answer, but that's the reality of it is. So I do have an ask, however. My ask is, if you notice something like a road that is decaying or degrading significantly, get a hold of either CE or get a hold of our safety shop. Because safety shop is the one that looks at hey, this one wasn't an issue, but it's becoming an issue quickly, and that's a real hazard, and we need to get after that. It is not good on my accord to get pound, but it is extremely dangerous if you ride a motorcycle on those roads. And so that's why our safety shop is involved, and our new chief of safety, one each Colonel Hustler Egan, is involved in that and helps CE prioritize when we get dollars, where do they go, and what roads do we get repaired and replaced. So if you notice something, don't think that somebody else has talked about it or reported it. Please let either CE know or let the safety office know. And if you don't know how to get a hold of those folks, you know what? You can text it into 707-412-8922. We'll capture it and then hand it off to the right folks. The other way you can let us know is you can use the app. You can use the one app to rule them all function and contact us in that way as well. All right.
That was a good question.
It was an exceptional question because it talks about the state that we're in, right? Boy, I wish I was able to replace all those roads today, tomorrow. And you know what else I do with roads? Mr. Judkins is going to cringe when I say it.
Oh, the little charging? Oh.
Well, so that would be awesome too, but...
I'm thinking too far ahead.
No, you're not thinking too far ahead. You know what drives me not quite as nuts as the asphalt seems, driving to and from work and driving around the installation? Four-way stops, right? I can't stand four-way stops in the middle of nowhere. And I can't wait for those to convert to traffic circles. I love me some traffic circles or roundabouts or whatever you want to call them. We used to not do those in America because we were afraid Americans didn't know how to use them. And
That's true.
And
some Americans don't.
I think they're fantastic, and there's a lot of benefit. And I believe this community and you have demonstrated you will be very appreciative of that. And to be really blunt, I just don't like the wear and tear on my car, right? And some of those four-way stops are in 45-mile-an-hour zones, and a couple in 55-mile-an-hour zones. And that's if we don't need it, then let's not do it. So when we do get that big paving project infrastructure and we can do it in sections, that's another consideration as well. I don't know that we're going to get the infrastructure bill bleed over onto military installations, but that is something that Air Force IMSC is looking at as a potential. Maybe that'll get us to the gate, and we can just extend the project inside the gate a little bit in a pylon as well. That's a couple years minimum out, but those are options that are available that weren't available a year ago.
Cool.
All right. You were talking about EV chargers, and boy, I would love to see some of those.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, that's innovation.
Yeah.
That's thinking outside the box.
Yep. That would be awesome. All right. Jeremy, any others?
Yes, sir. We have a couple shout-outs. I think you definitely covered the infrastructure very, very well. I didn't know that much about roads. That's amazing that it works that way, but it makes so much sense. Our call-out was with the Rod and Gun Club. They're looking for volunteers. So for that, the person that messaged out, please reach out to FSS. They're looking for folks once we have a lower HPCOM. And then Mr. Plumstead Sr. just wanted to say how proud he was of his son.
We are proud of your son too, sir. Thanks for watching, and I'm glad you were able to tune in. And I'm really glad we were able to get the broadcast to you. You know, this is something that we didn't do before the pandemic whacked us. And for Mr. Plumstead Sr. to have seen his son win that award, he would have had to physically travel to Edwards, find a seat in the base theater on the right day for him to do that. But because we are able to do a broadcast like this on a recurring basis from the exceptional professionals in your public affairs shop, we get to broadcast it a lot more. And if you're in quarantine or isolation, or you can't be here, you're TDY, you get to watch it real time, and it's recorded, right? So if you want to watch, hey, you won, let's go see what they said about you. See how bad they butchered your name, right?
My apologies in advance.
No, I did it. I'm sure I did it worse. And oh, by the way, folks, if we didn't get your name pronounced right, let us know. I'd love to talk to you and congratulate you in person. And for someone that has been called a lot of last names other than Higer my whole life, it's important to me that we learn how to pronounce it. Ben, I probably owe you many apologies for yours myself. All right. Thanks for the kudos, and I'm glad we were able to pull that off. All right. Jeremy, any other questions?
Yes, sir. The next question is, any plans to change the Vanpool regulations in the telework environment?
Yeah. So I'm going to plead ignorance on Vanpool regulations and ask the person that asked that, which regulations are you talking about? My understanding is that we are able to do Vanpool right now, not in Charlie, but I don't know if we can't do it in Charlie. I'm not sure which regulations you're talking about, and I don't understand necessarily the link between Vanpool and Telework either. So if you could give us a little more, I would love to have that dialogue with you. As much of a benefit as these broadcasts are, we just talked about how awesome it is. The detriment of this is that I can't ask for clarification in real time with you like we could if we were in person. So if you can let us know a little bit more, that'd be great. While he's or she is typing in that the clarification of the questions, let me talk about Telework. We are also rolling out and continuing to commit to agility in where do you work and why. 2 years ago, in the houses that Chief and I on our street had, we didn't even have reliable and consistent connection to our work network. And I won't say even, but we didn't have it. Those houses are wired for networks, and none of them, or very few of them, were active. And so a benefit of that on Palo Verde in that street is that we now have access to AFNet literally in our on-base government houses. That has given some serious agility to the command and control at the senior leader installation level, which we didn't have. It would be fantastic if we could get that into all the houses and residences on base. The comm squadron just freaked out, and I bet
I know somebody passed out.
Colonel Munoz had a heart attack right there. We're not going to be able to lay fiber and put outlets in all those houses, but I am certainly interested in any growth to the key and essential list, or maybe the chief's houses or other places on base. So think, I don't know, we're going to have a lobby. The lobby in the wing headquarters building is going to be set up with two, they're like phone booths, but I can't remember what they're called.
Those little pods that we have in our building?
Silent pods. Yeah, there'll be one on each side as you walk in the front lobby, a 2750, one on the left, one on the right. So if you need to have a one-on-one conversation and you don't know where else to meet, you can meet there. There'll be a couple places where you can set up and have impromptu meetings, or maybe do a little work, kind of a hot desk scenario, if you will. And in those places, having Wi-Fi access to AFNet becomes a realistic option as well. So getting ways to get people access beyond 4G networks, or beyond relying on your home Wi-Fi is really important to us, and we're moving it out.
While that might sound like a daunting task, that is the way of the future. We have to be advancing in that way, and that is the level of solutions mindset that we need all of our folks to be on and rolling out right now.
Absolutely.
We don't have time to wait.
Absolutely.
We got to be thinking ahead of the game. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's a way for us to prep. 5G is coming. I don't know how long it's going to be till we have 5G on the base, but it is arriving. And having a multiple, not just relying solely on 5G, but having a way to get access to networks, plural, is a really important thing as we look at the workforce of the future. Now let's pivot to telework. What do we mean by telework or remote work? We now have some, I'll say, well-practiced and extremely capable remote work options. So pre-pandemic, if someone needed to work from home before or after a medical appointment, or you had a regularly scheduled day off, that was doable, but it wasn't common. We immediately went into everybody go home. March 1st. It wasn't March 1st, but it was sometime in March. And then we have arrived at a place between those two endpoints where it was everybody go home, emergency telework, and the pre-pandemic or the before times options where a few people did it. And we're between the two. And I think we're narrowing in on a window of what does that look like, and more importantly, the why. Right? I can tell you definitively that there are very, very, very few jobs that are government service, so government civilian or active duty, that are 100% telework eligible 100% of the time. There are very few jobs like that. There are some that are potentially remote eligible, but you'll have to be able to attach to a nearby installation for support or other things like that, and those are realistic. But more than likely, and on the flip side of that, there are also very, very, very few jobs, government service or civilian and active duty, that are 0.0% telework compatible and telework eligible as well. There are some considerations for those that are bargaining unit eligible employees, right? And there are also some other folks that do, for example, sorting generation and things like that. But there are probably a few things you can do not at your primary work location. And so between those two end states, what do you do, where do you do it, when do you do it? That's a very robust and open conversation that continues to be had between employees and supervisors, informed by their commander's intent. And find a solution that works for the mission, that works for you, and don't rule things out quickly. I mean, the HPCon Charlie posture for telework is, if you can telework, you should. But when we go back to Bravo, we get into a telework some days makes more sense. Be in the office some days makes more sense. It'll be a balance between the two. And when we eventually go to Alpha, the assumption will be, if you don't need to telework or it doesn't make the most sense to telework, then be in the office. So think about that and transition into those and through those with your telework agreements. What works, what doesn't. What lessons learned have you had that you can share with other supervisors and employees is super, super important in that environment also. So I like it. I like the direction we're going. And it has certainly helped in a lot of ways. Gate traffic is a little bit better. We are able to retain employees so civilian member married to an active duty member gets an assignment someplace else. Sometimes this person is remote eligible or telework eligible, and they can move with them. Or we can change jobs and they can go with them. That's been super beneficial and super helpful. And retaining that exquisite talent and your expertise is highly valuable to the Air Force and to the nation. Jeremy, any clarification on that Vanpool telework question ring in yet?
Yes, sir. For the Vanpool, they were specifically referencing, due to telework, they don't meet the minimum amount of days to participate in the actual Vanpool. So they were asking, is there a discussion being had of maybe changing that minimum to accommodate both the teleworking environment, but enabling them, when they do have to report in, to still use the Vanpool?
Yeah. So this is where I say, I don't know, sir, but we'll find out. Right? The old commissioning program or basic training response. We owe you that answer, and I'm not gonna try and fluff it up or guess. I know I have never been a Vanpool commuter, so I don't have any personal expertise there as well. But thanks you for clarifying the question. We'll try to get that back to you at a future town hall. And if we have somebody that's on the line right now that can answer it, great. But if not, we'll have to defer that to a future week. Thank you for asking. Jeremy, how many more do you have? And if there's only one or two, we'll take them both. If not, I'll let you pick the most important one or two. Your discretion.
Yes, sir. We have one more question, and then a phone a friend. CE just wanted to let the audience know that some of the roads are included in this year's fiscal year funding, so they are getting after everything that you were just referencing to. The next question that we have, how can we get the base to do an immersion with the base school highlighting our direct need for trades and labor for Team Takata 2?
Good on that person for using Takata 2. I don't know who you are, but I'm a big fan of yours, so thank you for doing that. Can you go back to the question for us, PA? Yeah, thanks. So what we're talking about there is a closer partnership between Muroc Joint Unified School District, who is our mission partner on the base, providing public school education for primary and secondary education on the base, and a need for folks that are trades and labor for their career, or at least a portion of their career that they want to do here. There's a growth path there that I am actually pretty optimistic about. Boy, Chief, it was before your time. I think we did a town hall from the maintenance group. Was that? I think
I
that
was
was
there.
you were there for that
With
one.
Mr. Dixon.
Yeah, with Mr. Dixon. Yes. And so I don't remember the date on that, but what we have done, and it's kind of it isn't a pilot program. It's let's build this partnership and let's see if we can execute it. And then if that works, we can expand that one and potentially add in a few more. So what exists today is a partnership between the 412th Maintenance Group, specifically Mr. Nate Dixon's squadron, and the high school, Desert High School, where we have, and I think the number was 4 students initially, and I don't know if we've expanded beyond that, that are doing, the word is not work study, but it is effectively a work study program where they're getting high school credit to go work and learn what it's like to be in the shop at the 412th Maintenance Group. So that partnership, go back to the question for me, thanks. So that question of how can we get the base and the school to do something trades and labor, that is an example of something we're already doing. Now the trick, or the challenge actually, is scaling something like that, right? So there needs to be demand and there needs to be capacity, and they both have to move at about the same pace. If demand outstrips capacity, the demand goes someplace else and you lose the opportunity to get it. If capacity outstrips demand, then everybody thinks it's a failed program because you have a whole bunch of unused slots. So getting the two to scale at about right is really important. Sure. And we can only make incremental improvements or incremental increases to that at about the semester timeline and sometimes the academic year timeline. So if you are interested in recruiting high school students as high school students and having them work in a trades and labor job here on the installation after they graduate, that's a conversation that we can officially have, or you can officially have through your squadron director or commander with the school. Talk to the high school principal and see if there's something that he is interested in setting up or partnering with you on, and you can use Nate Dixon's partnership with Muroc Joint Unified as the baseline example. And we have a Vanguard program. Somebody's already cut the first path through the jungle on that, and there's an awesome opportunity, and I mean awesome opportunity, for someone that is here in high school. Maybe they're a native, maybe they were born here, and Aerospace Valley and Takata 2 is what they want to do, and they don't think they ever want to leave or do anything different. It is entirely possible for you to start school here on base at Edwards, right, graduate from Desert High, immediately get a job that you got trained for, at least partially trained for while you were in high school, get a job here, good paying, most of them or many of them bargaining unit eligible jobs, work your way through the wage grade and or jump to GS and or jump to ACT Demo civil service and survey. Gosh, we have 60-year civil servants on base, and there's no reason we can't continue to do that at a generational level with somebody that just likes being here. So I think that's a fantastic opportunity, but we have to have capacity and demand about the same on those. So if you're interested in that, contact maintenance group, and specifically Mr. Nate Dixon. And if you don't know how to get a hold of them, text in your contact information, and we'll get you in contact with Nate. All right, that's a great question to end this Friday's session on. This Friday being the Math in Public, 11th of February. I can't believe it's February already. That's insane. Of 2022. We started the broadcast with annual award winners. Some good Q&A. Thank you for the dialogue. I wish it was in person, but I'm glad we're able to get to all of you. And I'm glad we're able to do this. PA team, you're awesome. I think if you go back and look at the broadcast that Chief Eisen and I did 2 years ago, you can see that we've all gone a long way, and especially me, right? Especially me. And I couldn't be more proud of this team that supports us, Chief, as we do these broadcasts, and the engagement that we get from the community via this channel and via this medium. So to all of you, thank you very much. Enjoy the weather outside. Enjoy your Super Bowl weekend. And thank you for doing everything you do to support our nation, to support our mission, and to support the members of the community here at Takata 2. Have a great weekend, everybody.